Welcome everybody out. Tonight, our essential oil class is on Melissa. That's not the name of a girl. It's oil. It's also called lemon balm. And Jade's prepared a lot of material for us. So get out your Melissa and smell it.
Awesome. Okay, guys, I'm very excited about this one oil. But first of all, I want to say hello to Carla. Hi, Carla. Carla is that's living in California. She went back from Fiji, right?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. So that's wonderful. And originally from Belize, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. I sometimes forget, but some days I have some good memories of people. Okay. So Melissa oil, can you guys share with me what your experiences are? If you're new and you don't know what Melissa is, I'll tell you all about it. But for those people who've used Melissa before, share with me your experience.
I've used it a number of ways. Anybody who has a little cold sore on their mouth, have great results with that. And my experience has been that they seldom come back. So that's a great thing. I've used it for people with head injuries and people that have had strokes and been very successful with their return to recovery and full use.
Yep.
Great experiences with Melissa there. I had a gal that came to my class one time and I passed Melissa around and she would not let it go.
That's happened to me too.
Wow.
Like,
she was on all the medications for some mental illness and she would not let that Melissa go, and she ended up purchasing that Melissa oil and got off many of her medications, and that was her choice anyway, was to work off her medications, but she did phenomenal with that. And then boy, it's my go-to. Something coming on. I put a drop of Melissa under my tongue and it halts it really quickly.
So you just bypass all of the other oils and just Melissa the big gun, pull it out.
Melissa's the big gun. Yep.
Yeah, I call it my big gun because it just feels that way. It feels like when I need something really powerful, big bang, it's Melissa. I know Melissa is quite expensive, but it's worth it for the ability that it has to do all sorts of wonderful things for us. So when we have a class, sometimes I do my Otovi scan, and when Melissa comes up for people, sometimes I feel like, ooh, you know, they might have something really deep and I think complicated sometimes that's coming to the surface that they need Melissa oil for. So, you know, I brace myself because a lot of times we have people, they would just start crying. They have a sniff and they just start crying. And they say, oh, I don't know what's happening. I'm so sorry. I just feel like I have to, you know. And then I'm all, that's okay. You're fine. You can cry. So I had a friend, she's like, it's not a class if Jay doesn't make somebody cry. But Melissa's amazing oil, and I think everybody should have it in their home just in case they need it. So just to give you a summary, Melissa helps support healthy immune system, really powerful. It helps calm tension and nerves, and that's we have brain tension and nervous tension, and helps you feel relaxed. It has terpenes. It's one of those oils that does a lot, but it's sort of a master at several things. It's not like a master at one. And it's amazing skin clearer, like Debbie Gordon said. You know, she put some on cold sores and things. It's a form of virus, right? Herpes and things. They've had lots of research for that. That's amazing to support the body in that way. And emotionally, it helps. It's like Melissa is the oil of light. So it's sort of like turning on the light for everyone. And you can't help but have more light in your life and wisdom and clarity. So that's Melissa in a nutshell. Okay. Anyone want to ask questions or comment?
I use it in my deodorant blend.
but I feel like it's worth it because it kind of covers the whole gamut between like physical, emotional, and spiritual. So I put it in my emotion, or not my emotion, but I put it in my deodorant blend that I make, and then I also put it in my allergy blend as well, my allergies. And then I use it a lot with my girls when they had the hand, foot, and mouth. It was the Melissa and the Arbor Vitae and a few other oils that we mixed all together in the spray bottle and just doused them from like head to toe every day, several times a day for like 2 weeks straight. And they were really lucky that they had very mild cases of it and were still able to eat and play and be totally normal. And they didn't have recurrence, which was great. Is that I don't know if it builds like an immunity to the virus, but they never caught it again, and other kids had it multiple times. So.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm so glad you said that. So Arbor Vitae, Melissa are one of those big guns that you can just pull out when you really need help. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so as normal, we're going to go through. Are we sharing the screen here?
Yep. Can everybody see that?
Okay, good. So we'll go through this body, mind, and spirit in that order. So you guys know that the other name for Melissa is lemon balm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I read that it's great. They extract it from the leaves and the white flowering tops. Okay, and so Melissa is one of the more expensive oils, but like I said, you need to have one. Everyone needs to have one. And they had a hard time.
It's a good one to save up your points.
Mm-hmm, you save up your points. Yeah.
You can't use points for it right now. I tried.
We still can't. Yeah, so I think it's one per month per customer too. Yeah, so whenever you get a chance to, if you can, get one. All right, so let's start with the body. So it's great for skin clearing, okay, because it's very powerful against environmental threats. So you can use this oil internally and externally, okay? So you can put a couple of drops into soft gel, a capsule, make your own capsule and take it several times a day in case you need that extra help. It's already added to the On Guard Plus. So we have a soft gel that's On Guard, has On Guard oil, has black pepper, and then it has Melissa. So that's your immunity blend, basically. But you can use Melissa on topically too. It has a tiny bit of a warmth to it. Do you guys notice that? A little bit hot, but not too bad. Okay, and it has been found to be 98% effective in killing viruses, such as those in the form of, say, herpes. Okay, in several forms. What I love about essential oils is that it's intelligent and it's self-selective. This week we went to convention, this last week we went to doTERRA convention, and that's what they repeated over and over. These oils are so intelligent. It does multiple things because it has hundreds of active ingredients. And sometimes you want it to do one thing, but it does other things for you too inside your body that you didn't realize was there. So very powerful. Okay, so we had Debbie Gordon's story and Marissa's story. Anybody else that want to share something about skin clearing? All right, we'll move on. Okay, it's like I said, it's a wonderful oil that you can use in the gut, for the gut. So if you have rotting food in your gut, it can cause an overgrowth of candida. And candida albicans is very nasty because it leaves your gut and it goes all over your body, causing a lot of problems. And you can read all about it on the internet. A lot of sites have great information. But Melissa oil, it has a very powerful ability to help cleanse the gut. It's good to change it up a little bit so you can approach the candida in several different ways. But if we continue to allow the candida to grow, we can have issues like eczema, psoriasis, and dermatitis. And so we can take in the Melissa internally to help cleanse that that body inside, and then you can actually use it topically too. Okay, it's one of those oils that can do both, and it's really powerful. Okay. Any questions or comments, guys? Because it's such a calming oil at the same time, it can help with you regulating your blood pressure. Okay, so there's a massage oil here, massage blend here that I'll share with you.
Sorry, I do have a quick question. I was actually just thinking about the Cleanse and Restore kit. Did they put any Melissa in the GX Assist? I don't think it's in there, is it?
No.
That would be like helpful when doing the cleanse. I'm gonna do that the next. I'm actually cleansing right now, and I haven't started GX Assist.
So you want to put Melissa on your feet and Arbor Vitae. Yeah, that's good.
Cool beans.
And now Rose.
I'm loving the Rose.
Yeah.
I got it with me.
Awesome. Yep. Marissa just wants to cleanse it thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. So this is your massage blend for just helping with the blood pressure, just a normal blood pressure. So 1 ounce of coconut oil, 4 drops of lavender, 4 drops of ylang ylang, 1 drop of wild orange, and 1 drop of Melissa. Mix it together and massage it on the skin daily. So more often if you had a stressful day, just to help have that regulated blood pressure. Because I know sometimes when certain people, they're stressed, they get so, the blood pressure gets so high that they get vertigo and all sorts of dizziness. Okay, so that was my mum. But it's been awesome. He hasn't had any of that since we started oils. Okay. So the other one is tension release. And it's very similar to that blood pressure, but here's a blend for you. 15 drops of lavender, 10 drops of clary sage, 4 drops of geranium, 2 drops of Melissa, and 2 drops of ylang ylang. You can mix it together and in a separate bottle and just add a couple of drops in your diffuser. And by the way, we have a nice brand new diffuser. I want to show you this. This is really awesome. You see that? I just feel like it works better. I can smell the oils better. I don't know why. So anyways, you can do that in the lovely, pretty diffuser now. Any questions or comments? Okay, so vertigo support. See how it just looks, it's like everything connects, right? So that blood pressure and that vertigo, it's all connected. So with the Melissa oil, you can take it in a capsule or you can just apply a few drops behind the ears and on the back of the neck. You might want to dilute it a tiny bit just to keep it on the surface of the skin so it doesn't flash off. And plus it's a little bit warm. It's not hot, it's a little bit warm though. So that's another thing you can do. Any questions or comments, guys? Okay, very good. We're going to move on here to the mind. I really like what it does for the mind mostly. So I have a lot more information here. Okay, so Melissa is the oil of light. And according to the Emotions in the Essential Oil book, the negative emotion Melissa oil helps shift out are as follows. Despairing, hopeless, darkness, burdened, loss of will to live, and overwhelmed. You know, when I think of this oil, I think of just mixing it with lime oil. It helps those people have more light to live. Okay. So the positive of the property of Melissa is enlightened, joyful, energized, integrity, spiritually connected, and contagious enthusiasm, liberated and optimistic. So if you have a tendency to feel down, Melissa is one of those oils that you can use on a regular basis to keep you perky. Okay? Because sometimes I feel like when you're trying to make a change, it's almost like you're addicted to feeling sad. And once you're down in the pits, you just want to stay there sometimes because it's easier. Okay. Did you want to read this one, honey? There's a quote from Dr. Susan Lawton that I really like.
Melissa can penetrate the deepest layers of the human psyche and can help restore both clarity and security to a confused, dependent, victim-thinking soul. It can replace intensity with serenity and distrust with innocence. Melissa is among the most effective oils for anxious feelings and a feeling of foreboding. Effective in easing grief and soothing sadness. Helps people return to a sense of balance. Melissa is uplifting and deeply calming and is good for meditation, especially to counteract anger and allay grief. It strengthens the heart chakra and inspires universal love and joy, divine joy. Dr. Susan Lawton.
Yeah. So my friend just recently was saying how her boyfriend is very closed off. And I suggested that she diffuses Melissa for him. And anyways, I said something about his childhood, maybe 5 years old. So she texted me not a day later after I made that suggestion. She said he told her that that was when his brother died, right? And so this poor guy had this deep grief, you know, in the layers of his psyche, in his existence that, you know, he didn't know how to address yet, and just diffusing it kind of opens him up a bit. Have you guys had that experience?
I'll share a story. Several years ago, we had a lot of deaths in my family, and we lost my nephew to a bus accident. A school bus ran over him. We lost my brother to cancer, my sister-in-law to cancer, my grandmother to old age. And when my sister-in-law was the last one to go, we were kind of done. We were emotionally spent as a family and really quite struggling. And my sister that had lost her son was here after Sarah had died and made the comment, I can't go on. I'm just done. And it was really, we were all struggling. And so I had her put a drop of Melissa on her thumb and then put the thumb to the roof of the mouth. And I said, now, Cheryl, I want you to hold it there for a full minute. And I did it with her. And I set the timer. I said, I'm going to set the timer. You need to hold it there for 1 minute minimum. And so I set the timer, and I pulled my thumb out before the timer went off, and she went, And it was really kind of interesting, her remark. But as soon as we did that, she felt a lifting of that deep darkness, and it was very healing. And then we continued on using it. And then we added it to a blend of oils that we made to put over our adrenal glands because we were just so spent. And that was really, really helpful. And so, you know, I can personally attest to the way that as the oil of light, it lifts that black cloud of grief, of darkness, of sadness, and is a very, very powerful oil.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. And we actually have that written down here, Debbie. I just want to add to that story. Her sister Cheryl had her thumb in her mouth too. Later on, I think maybe a year later or so, maybe 2 years, when I got to hang out with her a bit, because this oil is the oil of light, right? Just understanding. So because her son was the same age as my oldest daughter, it really affected me at that time because they're almost the same age. I mean, born almost the same time. And then I looked at her feeling a lot of grief just thinking about that. And she just held me and she said, Jade, don't, it's okay, because she felt like God needed him, and she said it's okay. She's feeling better, and it helped me to have a greater vision of the grand plan of things too, right? And so that really helped me when she had more light, and she shed that light upon me. So I was really appreciative of her healing, and it helped me too. And I think at that time I was still grieving my stuff, and I haven't had the chance to release it. And I did meet Dr. Susan Lawton, and she had me stand in front of the classroom, and we did that too. So that was a very powerful way. I had a friend come over my house one day, and because I haven't been home to Australia for a while, and she wanted to pop in and say hi. And I asked her, how's it going? And she said, oh, my kids have grown up and they've left home, and it's just me and my husband. And then she had these big eyes and I saw grief, and she was holding it back. And I ran to the room, grabbed Melissa and grabbed Balance. So I put Balance on her forehead and I said, show me your thumb. And I had her put a drop of Melissa on her thumb and said, it's going to be weird, but stick it up into the roof of your mouth all the way in the back and just hold it there like a little kid. And she was like, okay. And within a minute, she pulled out her thumb. She took a deep breath. So she breathed that oil in through her mouth and through her nose. And then she started to cry. She cried and she cried and she cried. And she said, what is happening, Jade? What was that? What did you do? And she just kept crying, but it was like just a relief. And so she needed to grieve this new stage of her life. Now that she doesn't have to be the mama all the time, all her kids have grown and left home. And she had to kind of come to adapt to this new situation. She was grieving, and she didn't allow herself to grieve a new chapter or close an old chapter and open up a new chapter. So anyways, at church on Sunday, her husband came up to me and just said, whatever you did when she visited you, thank you, because she's a different person now. And I thought, that's awesome. It's awesome to hear. Okay, so here, we want to skip down to cognitive support. Melissa does that very well. Okay, and Melissa and Patchouli are the two oils that I suggest here. Just you can put it in a capsule, all right, and take it internally for anything cognitive. Because the idea is trying to get your brain cells to clean out its receptors and to make connections again. Because your brain knows, your whole body knows what to do. It just needs to have clean cells. Okay, so some of the cognitive issues that we have, okay, are depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, stress, lack of focus, hyperactivity, negative self-talk, and even brain traumas. Okay, there's some things that we can do. Marissa?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, like I said, I use Melissa to cover like a wide variety of things, which is why I put it in and on my body like every day, multiple times a day. But a big part is that I had a head injury when I was 19. And another part of that, like going back to the earlier part, is that I had a lot of unfair, unjust things happen to me in my life. And so I carried around a lot of anger for a long time. And then Melissa helps me to let that go and to not hold on to it, kind of like a security blanket almost. Because for the longest time I did that. I was just angry all the time and very hard to get close to. Like I could be friends with anybody, but I wouldn't really let them into my heart. And Melissa's helped me to let those walls down and to be open to other people and to forgive the people that wronged me and to forgive myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's awesome, Marissa. I really like that. And this is, it's been amazing to watch Marissa, and her whole life has changed. So, I mean, that's just, it's so powerful. So we go back up here. Melissa is found in your elevation Joyful Blend. So if you don't have Melissa, you can use the Elevation. And it's also found in the Motivate. Okay. And I mentioned also that it's in the On Guard Plus soft gels. Yep, but you can see why Joyful Blend, the Elevation and Motivate is so powerful, because it has this Melissa oil in it. Okay, and because it has a great ability to pass through the blood-brain barrier, it helps us with relaxation. Okay, so if you have 4 drops, where am I? Okay, 4 drops, 4 teaspoons of fractionated coconut oil, 4 drops of sandalwood, 3 drops of Melissa, 2 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of ylang-ylang, 1 drop of vetiver, 1 drop of clary sage. You can mix it together, inhale and rub it over your heart. It's very relaxing. It's just sometimes you can't let go, you can't unwind. It's one of those oils that can help you do that. Okay, so that's a powerful blend. You know, just look at that: sandalwood, Melissa, frankincense, ylang-ylang, vetiver, all of them, clary sage. Okay, very powerful. Okay, so for the more of the grief relief, if you need it for a longer period of time, so you can have 4 teaspoons of fractionated coconut oil. You're mixing this into a separate bottle, okay? And then you can reapply, just keep applying a few drops here and there. So do 4 drops of wild orange, 2 drops of Melissa, 2 drops of myrrh, and 1 drop of rose. Okay, you can dump out a few drops in your palms, inhale, and rub it over your heart. And you have to allow yourself to grieve too, okay? If you don't, then this oil may not smell very nice to you, this blend. You have to allow yourself to let go, but this oil will help you feel like it's safe to do so. Okay, so we have another blend here. Panic Preventing Personal Blend. So those people that tend to get some panic attacks for some reason is just going to help you rewire a little bit so you can be more calm. All right. So 4 teaspoons of fractionated coconut oil, 4 drops of geranium oil, 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of Melissa, 1 drop of frankincense, 1 drop of wild orange, 1 drop of ylang-ylang. Again, just dump it out, a few drops here and there, and just inhale and rub it over your heart. When I had a friend that has huge phobia, and she does get a lot of panic attacks, she literally carried her blend in her pocket all the time. And whenever she was out in public, it was always out. And that's why she was able to enroll a lot of people into doTERRA. But she said it really helped her. And now she's a totally different person. So that's very, just testifies that Melissa is powerful. Okay. So Shock Soothing Personal Blend. This is amazing because sometimes you get attacked, you know, and you feel that energy, and you still feel that panic even after it's gone. Do you know what I mean? When somebody just kind of attacks you because they're just angry and upset about something, and you happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then you cop that throw up, I guess. So if that's happened to you, this will help kind of bring you back. It's sort of a trauma, right? So 4 teaspoons of fractionated coconut oil, 2 drops of Melissa, 2 drops of coriander. The coriander helps with that. It's very powerful. And 2 drops of wild orange, 1 drop of rose. Okay, guys, now we can buy rose, so that's great. And 1 drop of melaleuca. All right, again, mix it in a separate bottle, and then you can, or a roller bottle, that's great. And you can roll it over your heart, inhale it, and smell it, just to calm things down. So I had some people, I think one of my friends asked me about chakras. This is the upper body chakra. This is the oil for the upper body chakra, okay? Okie dokie. Any questions or comments, guys?
I was going to say, I've been using the oils for almost 5 years, Jade, and Melissa was one of the oils that I avoided for a long time just because of the price. And I know that that scares a lot of people. But I can honestly say that it has made such a difference in my life that it is worth its weight in like gold or platinum or whatever is most precious in the world. Like when they started putting that back and I started using it, I try and buy a bottle every other month just to have like a stock of it in case for some reason they're not able to produce it again, because it is so important for my continuing healing and, you know, among other uses that I have for it with viral stuff as well. But it truly is the oil of light, and it has truly brought light into my heart and mind and just allows me to share that with other people.
Oh, that's beautiful, Marissa. I agree. Because, you know, when you think about expensive, you think about compared to what? So
Exactly.
it's $115, but compared to what? You know, other
Yeah.
things are lots more expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, the peace of mind it can bring, and the fact that it can let, because I was, especially after my car wreck, I had horrible panic attacks, and I was medicated for many years on that. And even, I mean, you guys witnessed it on Sunday morning. I was on the phone with Tom before we were able to fly out, and I was in the hallway of the hotel, and I was just bawling because I was terrified that I wouldn't get back to my children. And there was a hurricane coming, and I had that sense of panic inside, and it was welling up in my chest, and I felt like it would just explode. And I'm talking to Tom, and I'm like, you don't understand. I can't be there. There's 2,000 miles between us. And I'm terrified. You know, what if I can't get home tonight? What if the flight gets canceled? And then 10 minutes later, the flight got canceled. And that was why I was, you know, missing my Melissa. But I had my frankincense and a few other oils. So I put those on, and then I asked Ben for a blessing. And it was amazing that, you know, afterwards I just had this sense of peace and calm come over me. And I had the Melissa oil in my deodorant that I carry with me in a little tiny bottle when I'm traveling. And I put that on. And I even put some on my forehead and my neck and just rub it all over and just breathe it in. And it's amazing. Like, whoosh, it's just like everything just comes down a level.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. For those who don't know, Marissa and Beth and Ben and I, we were heading back home, and there was a big hurricane in Florida. Most of Florida was affected. And I, you know, looking back, I feel like we were so calm. You know, after Marissa calmed down, all of us are pretty calm the whole way. And, you know, I think if we were before oils, you know, I don't know how we would have been. You know, it's just amazing the difference. I feel like I'm a different person than I was even a few years ago. So I'm really grateful that we have the oils, that we've healed and we've cleansed a lot of the darkness and the clutter inside there. Yeah, it's powerful, guys. Well, one guy, he was trying to fix one of our kitchen tiles or something, and he came to us, and we're just having small talk, asking how he is, and telling him, he asked us what we do, and we told him we do essential oils, and he says, oh, my wife loves that stuff. And he says, oh, anything for eyes and stuff. And we're like, yeah, there's, you know, something for eyes. And he said, oh, because my wife and I, we had a $40,000 surgery. $40,000. And he said, and nothing happened. It's still the same. And I'm like, whoa, you know what? Oils don't cost that much money. The most you pay for one of the expensive ones is like maybe Melissa, and it's like $115. So, you know, that's perspective for you, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I also could see that two things with Marissa. One is, did you notice how many friends she was making at convention? Like, which strangers or anybody sitting around this, you just start talking to them, and then the next thing you know, they'd be like, take a picture with us, Marissa. And I was just like, I was telling another girl there, like, if you didn't know her before, like, she is just so, like, a butterfly now, like, open, like, she's like those flowers. They're, like, open and out, you know. And then when she was scared, then I was scared for her, because I know what it'd be like to have kids, you know. So I was like, let's just pray, and it's going to be okay. And I was hugging her, and we were crying. And then, like, she went go get the blessing, and then, you know, she got her oil, and then she was like, okay, it's going to be okay. And I was like, it's going to be okay. I promise you. I just know it's going to be okay. And you will get home. And I kept on telling her, you're going to get home. I know you will. I was like, just text me along the way, but you're going to be okay. And she was like, thank you so much. But, you know, you could just see, like, it didn't keep on dragging her deeper. Like, she she was just positive then, and she wasn't, her expression and everything just changed, her countenance just changed, you know. So I was like, okay, you know, like, then we got in the van, she's like taking a picture, like, we're gonna be home, you know. And I'm like, okay, she's taking pictures now, she's okay, you know, it's gonna be fine. And then, you know, I hugged you guys at the airport and was like, I promise you, you're gonna be okay, it's gonna be fine, and I know you're gonna get home, so text me when you get home. And she was like, okay, but yeah, I get to see the growth in her, and I don't have it yet, but I was telling her, like, oh, I want to get it, you know, I definitely want to get it. And yeah, she just said she used it a lot, and that it helped with so much of her heart and so much, like, the anxiety stuff and all that. Like, me and her and my daughter can relate to that, so she's like, you got to get it, you got to get it. And I was like, okay, I'm getting it, you know.
So how many of you know friends have this, right? You have some sort of anxiety, right? This would be good. Okay, so spiritually, Melissa has this intense power due to its high vibration, okay? So if you use it often, you can't help but be lifted up, okay? And you leave that darkness, and you'll be able to embrace more light. And, you know, then you realize that you have this spark of divine light inside of you, and then it's like you honor it and you have more courage. So that's what Melissa does. It helps you continue to grow brighter and stronger. I think that's what Marissa likes to do. She sees how it helps her grow stronger and brighter every day. All right. So a lot of us, like I said, sometimes we're tempted to be negative, play small, give up. So just keep smelling Melissa and do it on a regular basis. You don't have to even think. And that's a great idea to put it in your deodorant there, so you'll always be having it with you. For me, I like using Melissa, you know, on the roof of my mouth, but also very often I put it on my third eye, along with my sandalwood, my frankincense, and just kind of lift it up. The third eye is in between your eyebrows, and just a drop there, and it really helps me get things done, because I just want to do it right, and I want to be inspired to do it, and I just do it, and I surprise myself all the time how quickly I can accomplish something. And sometimes I read through what I've you know, written or something, and I think, oh, that's really profound. Definitely not for me. So that I rely on it for the light. So, anyways, that's all about Melissa. If we can scroll down here, you have a PDF of the top 10 uses that I collected for your collection, I guess, for those people that are printing it out and putting it in a folder. There you go. Anyone else want to share?
Smells nice.
It smells nice. Very nice.
I'll share a couple more things.
Yes, please.
You know what? I have a son who had a lot of issues with fatigue and constant fatigue and tired all the time and sleeping tremendous hordes amount of time, and took him to the doctor, and he was diagnosed with mono, and Melissa's my first go-to for that. Anything that's really tough to get rid of, you got to have Melissa. So make sure it's in your arsenal. And I'm going to call it that because you got to have it. It's one of those that it's worth its weight in gold, as Marissa said, but it's one of those that when you need it, you got to have it now. And we are surrounded by dark entities. This young man, he had a lot of issues with surrounding himself with demons and dark entities. And part of that was choice, and part of that was not choice. And the Melissa oil lifts that darkness. It commands them to leave almost, using also adding the Priest of Powers. And I just want to submit to you that it's a must-have. You cannot do it without it in this day and age. And it's the big gun. We've got a lot of super bugs, and you're going to be reaching for it as we go through some more plagues. So don't wait. Don't wait to get it. Make sure you've got some stores, like Marissa said.
Yeah, that's right. As soon as it came out for the Aussies, I had to buy some for my mom. Keep it at home whenever you need it, in case you need it. Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you everyone for joining us and participating and sharing. So if you stay with us the next hour, we have some really exciting news about convention and things. But thank you for those that are listening to our podcast. and following us on YouTube. See you next time.
Okay, we'll stop the recording here.